Second pick will be made by
Using the ESPN trade machine, I landed the Dallas Mavericks a huge superstar without having to trade Anthony Davis or Kyrie Irving. And the players that I did, it was basically a 3-team trade. I'm going to get into that and who it was that I got for the Dallas Mavericks, hypothetically speaking. But it would have to be trading the #1 draft pick that they have tonight as I make this video. And we all know that's going to be Cooper Flagg, so let's begin with him specifically.
Winning cures everything, and as talented as Cooper Flagg is, we do not know what he will be in the NBA.
#1, let's get this out the way. It's not that I don't believe in Cooper Flagg's potential to be a superstar. On my page, in my short section, there's a few videos I did where I was breaking down this game and I said, wow, okay, I'm really impressed. Very versatile player, unselfish, high IQ, has some athleticism to him. He could dribble the ball, play make, finish around the rim. Whether it's his left hand or right hand, he plays defense, which stood out to me the most. His shooting is decent, though that's the area that people say could improve, but it's not bad at all. I see why everyone is talking about him as this potential superstar. But to Udonis Haslam's point, I've seen comparisons where some say Cooper could be a Jason Tatum, Kawhi Leonard on the high end, and I also saw comparisons where they said he could be a Andre Karolinko or Andre Iguodala, and it was Carlos Boozer, a former NBA All-Star and former player at Duke, who made the Karolinko comparison. Now, for those unfamiliar with Andre Karolinko's game, we're talking about a player in the early 2000s who was a starting small forward, great wing defender, could get you 15, 16 points, does have one NBA All-Star appearance, and that's it. And he didn't average anything more than that point per game range I said, around 15, 16. That was really his ballpark. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out as an elite superstar player, but let me get into why I think it's still a mistake to draft him.
People were wondering, does he hold on to this pick? And what do Nico do with that? Nico stood strong, stood on all 10 toes.
I preface this by saying I love Nico. I've known Nico since I've been 16 years old. I think there is a difference between what we know about things, insiders, about things that actually happen on a day-to-day basis, and our reality and our context with that, as opposed to the fan base that is in love with a guy like Luka. So my answer to you, Perk, would be no. I don't think the fans should feel any differently about Nico at all until he wins it. You have to win a world championship.
This is what I'm getting at now. You have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. You make the NBA Finals. You lose to a tough Boston Celtics team. I'm thinking, all right, they're going to retool, as everyone is also thinking probably, put some more pieces to the team and make another run for it. But instead, you trade your superstar player in his prime because you don't like that he's not in the best of shape. So you trade for Anthony Davis. Unfortunately, injuries started playing a role very quickly with AD, then Kyrie Irving. But you're on the record as saying that's a championship caliber team. Nico Harrison, I'm talking about, he's saying this. And he goes on to say, you guys were able to see it for 2.5 quarters because that's how long Anthony Davis was playing until he got hurt. Then he says, unfortunately, it's a small sample size, but that is fairly a dominant defensive team. He mentioned defense when he first made this trade too, saying that defense wins championships. Charles Barkley was on the record saying that this was a great move for the Mavericks. They could win a championship. I believe Perkins was as well. So what are you really doing drafting an 18-year-old who's going to take some time to develop, putting him on a team that's already a championship-ready squad with 2 other superstars who are over 30 and don't have the time to really carry him and watch him develop? They got to win now.
He is 18 years old. He is the second youngest player in college basketball. The ceiling is high, but also there has to be a ton of room of improvement. I don't know how I feel about him being a role player right away on a world championship team, if that is the right environment for him to continue to work to mature into the player of being a superstar.
A role player? This Cooper Flagg stepping right into a starting role. You seen that reaction in that dinner last night? They the ones that got to worry about playing time.
It's not that I think Cooper Flagg will be a player off the bench and turn into some role player. I would see him definitely in the starting lineup. It's more about how does he look development while playing with other fortified superstars in Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis while he's so young and trying to develop into his own stardom. That is the main problem. If we go over all the number one draft picks throughout the years, Yao Ming 02, LeBron James 03, Dwight Howard 04, there was no other superstar on that team. It was clear for them to go in and really assert their dominance. We could go to 08 Derrick Rose, 09 Blake Griffin, 2010 John Wall, 2011 Kyrie Irving. LeBron wasn't already on the team. They had the chance to get the keys as young, very promising players. We could go in more recent years, 2023 with Victor Wembanyama. The point I'm making is the only player who was drafted number one and went to a team that already had a superstar and it worked, that would be Tim Duncan when he was drafted number one by the Spurs. He teamed up with David Robinson. They ended up winning a championship, but there was no other star either. It was just David Robinson. So if it was just Kyrie Irving by himself or Anthony Davis, maybe that could work a little bit better.
But there is so much luck that goes into that. Great for Dallas that they got it. But now that you've got it, what are you going to do with it? You think they're going to keep Cooper Flagg. I can make an argument that maybe they should trade Cooper Flagg for a guy like Giannis if they have some of the assets, if they're able to get it.
So hell no, I'm not trading my number one pick for Giannis.
Why not go get Giannis Antetokounmpo? As you see, this is the ESPN trade machine that I mentioned very early on in the video, and I did it to get Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Dallas Mavericks. As you see, didn't have to trade Kyrie Irving, didn't have to trade Anthony Davis. It was a successful trade, given the cap space. A little bit hard because I had to do the 3-team trade in order to work it. As you see, had to give up Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Gafford. Those are three main pieces in your starting lineup. But if you're getting a former MVP, a champion, and you pair him with Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, didn't have to trade those guys, why not? And then there's also other players that I had to throw in there, again, to make this whole trade work. If you look at the analysis that they gave, it actually favored the Milwaukee Bucks. And this is obviously trading the pick as well, right? Because I don't think the Bucks would do this trade in real life without getting that number one pick back as well. But if they did, this is a trade that I think really, really works. Now on the Utah Jazz side, maybe it doesn't entice them, it doesn't really move them, doesn't necessarily move them back either or forward. So in real life, again, Utah Jazz may wonder, well, what does this really benefit for us? But on the Dallas Mavericks side, this works out beautifully. For those who are saying, man, you have to give up the whole starting lineup to make this happen, where's the depth at? The depth is still there. They got Najee Marshall still on the team, good scorer off the bench. Caleb Martin, another proven role player. Max Christie could play defense. Derek Lively, a young, promising center. And then they got Dante Exum still there. Spencer Dinwiddie, a proven scorer in the NBA who could come off the bench. This trade works out perfectly, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to leave things right here. Y'all let me know what you think of the trade, if they should give up the pick. And if you don't think so, let me know why. Also, is there any other player than Giannis Antetokounmpo that you would like to see them get if they were to make this kind of trade? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, salute for listening. Peace.